Russia invaded Ukraine towards the end of February this year, and it doesn't look like the war would end anytime soon. As the war continues, Elon Musk has delivered killer drones that will help Ukraine win the war against Russia. How exactly is Musk helping Ukraine beat Russia? Let's find out. The war between Russia and Ukraine is an ongoing conflict that has been continuing for 8 years now. It first began in 2014 following the Ukrainian Revolution of Dignity. The military conflict between the two countries escalated greatly in late 2021, and on February 24, 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine. Among the Russian-Ukrainian conflict, there is one name that has popped up time and time again. None other than Elon Musk. The billionaire is playing a very vital role for Ukraine through his satellite program Starlink, which Ukraine is using for its drone strikes. In addition to guiding drones, Starlink is providing internet facilities to Ukraine. Soon after Russia invaded Ukraine, the Ukrainian Vice Prime Minister took to Twitter to ask the U.S. business tycoon Elon Musk to activate his Starlink satellites so they could be used in Ukraine. Musk was quick to respond, and within hours, the satellite service became active in Ukraine. A number of terminals and powerful batteries were sent to Ukraine, and Starlink became functional immediately. It's very interesting how the Ukrainian politician asked for the billionaire's help publicly at the social media platform without involving any lengthy government procedures or debates. Since then, Musk's Starlink has been playing an important role in Ukrainians' defense. Starlink was initially conceived as a civilian program, but the Ukrainian military is making full use of it. The Ukrainian army has been using Starlink to locate Russian tanks and positions for drone attacks. This is of particular importance in areas with weak infrastructure and no internet connection. According to reports, the Ukrainian aerial reconnaissance unit that is called Aerozvidka runs over 300 missions a day. Gather information during the day and carry out the drone attacks at night. Aerozvidka uses Starlink program to monitor and coordinate unmanned aerial vehicles. In addition, it enables soldiers to fire anti-tank weapons with great precision and accuracy. The Ukrainian drones have been modified with thermal cameras, and so they become impossible to detect at night and can target Russian vehicles like tanks and command trucks at night. Elon Musk founded Starlink's satellite internet program to provide internet to undersupplied areas far from urban centers. Who would have thought at the time that it would become many areas' only communication source in a war zone? One of Russia's first acts of aggression was to destroy Ukraine's internet connections and power supplies. In this context, Starlink internet facilities became even more important. It's not just the Ukrainian army who is using Starlink. Even civilians are using the satellite internet program to stay updated about the war and stay connected with each other and with the outside world. Starlink is one of the most popular app downloads in Ukraine, used by more than 100,000 people. Moreover, the Ukrainian President Zelensky uses Starlink to address the nation and make speeches to the national parliaments around the world. It helps gather international support for Ukraine while at the same time maintaining the unbroken resistance of the people. Russia has been meaning to target Starlink reception dishes and internet facilities. Russia is even trying to block internet from space through jammers. But it's Musk on the other side, and the man always has a solution. He revealed on Twitter that a new software update has been launched which would lower power consumption and thus would be able to bypass jamming transmitters. Russia has been criticizing Musk over his support to Ukraine. The head of the Russian space agency Roscosmos went so far as to call it an aggression and labeled Starlink's activities as interference. But Musk isn't the one to bother. When Musk was accused of using Starlink for military reasons when in reality it was supposed to be purely civilian, Musk had the wittiest reply. He affirmed that SpaceX was helping fix the Ukrainian civilization internet, which seemed to be experiencing strange outages. However, there is one bad thing. The Starlink satellites are geolocated. This is the reason Musk warned Starlink users in Ukraine to turn on the system only in time of need. This is to prevent attacks on the Starlink network during the war. When Russia thought that taking over Ukraine by destroying their power and internet was easy, Musk appeared out of nowhere with his Starlink and has helped Ukraine survive the war this far. War-torn Ukraine relies on Starlink as its information lifeline. It connects battered hospitals and people in far-flung areas. Musk has helped Ukrainian drones knock out a number of Russian tanks, mobile command centers, and other military vehicles and stuff. In addition to hospitals and clinics, Starlink terminals have even been provided to fire departments, schools, and municipal governments. While talking to a journalist, a Ukrainian soldier remarked that Starlink is what changed the war in Ukraine's favor. As opposed to the traditional internet facilities, the Starlink terminals are resilient and adaptable, and so it becomes difficult to destroy them. The Russian-Ukrainian war would end soon, hopefully, but the US billionaire's role in helping Ukraine survive the war and possibly beat Russia would always be remembered. Click on one of the 2 videos on the screen right now.